Last weekend I was biking down on the Massachusetts-Connecticut border and saw the ruins of a train bridge that wasn't on any map. These beautiful stone abutments sticking out of the Housatonic River there, and said, I want to go explore that someday. Well, why not today? I want to throw my kayak down on the water there if I can find a place to park. I'm not sure exactly where. The park is called Bartholomew's Cobble. First, I have to rescue my origami kayak from his corrugated jail. It's Saturday. I'm pretty sure it should be open. Shouldn't have any problems getting in. I'm gonna put a few things away in my storage unit too. My electric trawler motor, I just have never gotten around to rigging up a little outboard motor. Just don't have the right parts yet. Haven't had time for that. One perk about having a storage unit is having access to a proper dumpster. Instead of having to cut up all my boxes, I can just take them here, drop off the trash and stuff. Yeah, just one of the extra benefits. I think having a nice cheap storage unit is a great idea. Just for all the seasonal stuff on top of the dumpster, you know what I mean? Speaking of Moby Dick, this right here on the right is Herman Melville's house. He was, of course, the author of Moby Dick. He lived right here in Pittsfield. Look at this crazy traffic. This is the main street through Stockbridge, Route 7. Beautiful town, always happening in the summer. But they gotta do something about the traffic jam here. This is what I need. I drink exactly 1 gallon of water every day, something I've learned since I got into this lifestyle. I'm gonna bring an entire gallon with me on the water today. It gets hot out there. Here we go, Bartholomew's Cobble. Looks like there's ample parking today. Now, I don't think there's a proper boat launch here at Bartholomew's Cobble. I think my best bet is to walk down the road a little ways and kind of guerrilla my path through the woods, try to hop in. I want to be going downstream, not upstream, which is a little more dangerous than I'd like. I'm not sure how strong the current is, and I don't like fighting my way back. I have a feeling this one is going to go until dark, you know? Carrying all my stuff like this is totally possible because of this origami kayak. It's by Oru. Look, I can even use one hand to hold my tripod. I still have to walk, I think, 3/4 of a mile, maybe even longer than that. I'll be getting on board right by the Connecticut border. So right over here, I think I can see the Housatonic River. The question is, how do I bushwhack to there? This ain't gonna be pleasant. Looks like I also have to descend about 30 feet. And there's a lot of thorns and stuff. This is gonna suck. I've been trying to find the best way to connect to the Housatonic River, which is right through the woods there. You can see it. I think this is my best bet right here. It's kind of an open pine. I'm gonna zoom in. You can see there's a path down there. If I can just get to that, that should take me right to the water's edge. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but you can carry both the oars and the kayak all in one hand simply by putting it under the straps like that. But look at this. I am almost at that little path. And if I can just get to that, I think that takes me to the water, making this a whole lot easier. Keep in mind, I'm going to have to do this on the way back too, you know, and it might be in the dark. I should really be GPSing this. Well, how to get on the water has been solved. There's this little beaver lodge embankment right here. Hope I can find it in the dark. Next question is, how strong is this current? I can kind of see it moving. I normally like to go upstream. I need to go downstream like 4 miles before I reach that train bridge abutment. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. The embankment here is like quicksand. I normally try to keep it clean in here, but that was absolutely filthy. And let's see. All right, well, I'm heading out to the center of the river where the current is the strongest. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna take plan A and go downstream for as long as possible. Looks like the first thing I encounter is this big fallen tree right here. It's like 3/4 of a beaver dam. I think I can snake around it. I think that train bridge I want to go to is, like I said, 4 or 5 miles downstream. If I feel like I can't make it to that tonight, there is a little river that veers off to the left here. I forget what it's called. Might be able to sneak up that. I think it goes into a town. That would be a cool, plan C. But just look how beautiful the river is today. I'm not encountering any mosquitoes, and the sun is kind of behind the trees. It shouldn't bother me too much. This part of the river is just so peaceful. It's nice and shallow. I do notice there's a lot of this one type of seaweed, this plant, that looks like something you'd find in a fish tank. I wonder if it's that Hydrasilla or whatever. They had warning signs at that Twin Lakes last weekend. It looks like it. And all the oxbows are like an optical illusion. You keep running into places like here. It looks like a dead end. It actually sneaks around the corner there. You can't really tell. So we're actually sneaking around this corner here, banking our right like more than 90 degrees. And there's just a wall of corn. I swear, corn is just unescapable. The only obstacle I'm encountering so far is all these trees. I thought they were floating. They're just sitting on the riverbed. It's only about 6 inches deep right here. That's fine. I can take this kayak out on 3.5 inches. That's all I need to float on. And it just makes the river so much more intimate. That creek that goes off to the left, that goes to a waterfall. I think it's called Ashley Falls. So I might try to hit that on the way back. I'm just gonna bank it downstream for about 4 miles as fast as I can and try to get to that train bridge. Look at that creek right there. I want to snake up that my way back, but I'm so close I can see it. That crazy trestle bridge abutment in the middle of the river there. I'm gonna kayak right up against it, see if I can disembark. Right there is the continuation of whatever bridge was here. That's the east bank of it. But this right here in the middle is what I find absolutely fascinating. It rises the masonry is about 10 feet above the water. It's at grade, like above the road. And it's got a beautiful tree growing on the top of it. Let me see if I can get up even closer. I checked again, nothing on Google Maps or the Gaia GPS maps or anything about there being a bridge here. But I'm fairly certain this was for a train. It rises to about 12 feet above the road on the bank, and you can see the continuation of it right over here. I'm gonna look for a little engraving on any of these stones. Sometimes there's a date. I don't see any dates anywhere. The only clue I see is this iron bar with a loop at the end. I'm sure it's part of the infrastructure, but I don't know, a suspension bridge? So that's the main river. I still have like 5 miles to go, but I want to take a detour right here. I saw this little creek. Looks like there's a lot of detritus in it. I may have to snake around, but I think I can manage. Obstacle 1 has been conquered. That wasn't too bad. Looks like it does open up here. I'm not sure how much. I've learned you can't trust the little cartoons on Google Maps. I'm gonna go up as far as I can, though. I am still going, but I have a secret weapon in my hand. Yeah, I can just push myself. This is just around the threshold of 3.5 inches, but I'm still going. Very easy to anchor your boat when it's this shallow, but I think the next obstacle is this extremely low overhanging branch. I'm gonna try to propel myself all the way through it, see if I can get to the other side. I think the best bet is kind of under this right here. I hope this isn't too thorny. Oh man, I am persevering. I have not given up on this. I want to get to the other side. Nothing can stop me, and voila, I am all the way through. Looks like I can keep going. There's another log up ahead. It takes a lot of force to get me to quit, and I've been beached. I just can't make it anymore. That's my cue to turn around. Like I said, I have 5 miles upstream to go, and sun sets in an hour. That's not good. beautiful green embankment right there is the official border between Mass and Connecticut. But as you can see, the sun is close to going below that ridge line, so I'm going to lose direct sunlight. I do have about 30 minutes of daylight left before it turns to twilight, and about 2.5 miles to go. Now, in a regular kayak, that would be no problem. I think I pointed out before that this Oru kayak, it's not actually a kayak. It has no keel in the center. It's a flat bottom boat. It does not track well, and it does not go fast. It's like rolling a potato. I was in a kayak, like a real one, a month ago, and I was blown away by the difference. You could go like 3 times faster. So I tend to go like 1 mile an hour in this thing, even when I'm rowing really hard. It's not great mileage. Bit of a minor problem. I thought my Gaia GPS app was running. That marks my trail. I was using it to mark my disembarkation point because there's only one spot I can get out of the river here. Well, it hasn't been running, so I'm going to have to use what daylight is left to find that spot. Now, I do remember rounding this curve here. It was like the first video clip I did. So that little embankment should be on the left coming up here somewhere. I vaguely recall my disembarkation being behind a bunch of logs like that, but look at how much of that seaweed, whatever it's called, is here. It's just taking over this stretch of the river. I thought that was where I disembarked from. I don't see any footprints or a path, so I'm gonna keep going. The sun has now officially set. I found that disembarkation point, thank God, because for the next 20 miles, Bart's Cobble is basically a trench. It's like a 10-foot wall on either side. There's no escape. This would have been very spooky to do, to row in the dark. Right now, I just need to get to the road. I had wanted to get to the van before it got dark. I love this kayak. I love Moby Dick, but I swear, putting them back together is like fighting a wild animal. He's literally my black whale, I guess. I'm back on that trail that I think goes near the road. This is where I kind of veer off of it. I have to bushwhack for the last 50 yards or so. I have an outdoor shower here, which, you know, it's basically just a hook. I can put this out here if I wanted to. I've never actually used this as an outdoor shower, like to wash my body. I'd always just rather shower inside the van. Only times I've ever used it is to hose down dirty stuff, which I'm about to do for Moby Dick, my oars, and look at my legs too. Oh yeah, this is no good right here. Yeah, if there was any question about the survivability of that nice rug I got back there for my van staging video, there's no question now, it's gotta go. It's caked in mud and grime and Lord knows what else. I need to do a deep cleaning. I might have to throw it away tomorrow. I need to do laundry too. It's just like, I try to enjoy the weekend. It's never-ending chores. You know what I mean? This rear camera is so cool. It keeps switching to this infrared mode where all the leaves are white. It looks like something out of Fantasia. That might be the first time I said I wanted to come to a place again, and then I actually did. Right the next week, seeing that train bridge abutment in the Housatonic River. You know, I wish I had more time to snake up some of those side creeks and stuff. That's one of the reasons I love kayaking. I like kayaking on rivers way better than on, you know, lakes and big bodies of water. I didn't have a time. That's like dozens of... The Housatonic River has tons of mileage in Berkshire County. Like, as the crow flies, it might look like it only goes 1 mile, but it oxbows so much it goes like 2 or 3 miles in that 1 mile. Anyway, I'm not sure whether or not I want to take Moby Dick with me to Eastern Mass. Tomorrow, I have to go to Boston. It's that time of the week again, and even though he's covered in mud and just bringing so much like grime into my van right now, I really want to put him on the water on the Concord River and a few other places out there in the eastern part of the state before the summer's over. I have to decide in the morning because my storage is here and then I'm taking off. I'm not ready to decide yet, so I'll talk to you guys again in the morning. I finally read up on what that railroad was over breakfast this morning. It was the Central New England Railroad. It ran from Hartford to Poughkeepsie. I guess it wasn't very profitable. It was a passenger service at first, but it only ran for like 20 years, and then they abandoned it, and now it's just that ruins right there. Very cool find. Today I do have to drive to Boston. Like I said, tomorrow's my work day, and I've been thinking all morning about whether or not I should not do my fucking underwear while I'm talking to you. Sorry. Yeah, I am gonna bring Moby Dick with me to Boston. I want to take him on the Concord River, and even before I do there, today, if possible, the Miller River in Winchendon by Lake Denison. I've been talking about doing that forever. I just got all my laundry done. It's not even noon yet. I'm making good time, so I'm gonna make a beeline to there right after this. I pulled over in Route 2 just to take a break, and the lady in this van over here came over to say hi. She told me there was some big van gathering in Greenfield, Mass this weekend. I knew nothing about it. I would have loved to go to something like that. She told me about some club, vanning.com. Never heard of it. I'm gonna have to look into that. Apparently they do these big gatherings like every couple of weeks. There's one Labor Day weekend in Vermont. She said there's one in Pennsylvania next month. Kind of cool, you know. I want to get involved in stuff like that. I think she's getting some resources for me.
See, these are the name of the people that's in. You could call and they could tell you everything.
Oh, cool.
Two guys in the top, Chris or Ben.
Awesome. NewEnglandVanCouncil.com. All right. Yeah, I will reach out. I would love to do something like this.
Well, go online when that it says NewEnglandVanCouncil.com.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Right here at the bottom.
Okay, try that.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
If you can't get anything, try those guys.
All right, awesome. What's your name again?
Huh?
What's your name?
Carol.
Carol. Carol, okay.
Yeah, think of Christmas carols.
All right, nice.
And my husband his nickname is Cooch, but his real name is Paul.
Okay.
Everybody gets a nickname out there.
All right, Coot. I'll remember that.
Okay.
Have a nice one.
Thank you.
Nice old lady. So the website is NewEnglandVanCouncil.com. Any of you guys ever heard of this? I'm going to look into that. So I skipped right past Winchendon. I'm going to Concord today. Closer to Boston. That's because I want to paddle until late into the evening and then not have a long drive to Boston afterwards. This is the Lowell boat ramp in Concord where I'm going to disembark, whatever the word is. And it's a very tight squeeze here. You have to park on the street. I'm kind of doing a balancing act right here on this wire. Look at this. This is kind of fun. Lowell boat launch in Concord, Mass. This is where I took Moby Dick for the first time when I got it. This is my favorite place to launch from because you have 3 rivers to choose from. You can go downstream here on the Concord River. That takes you past the Concord battlefield. I want to do that later today. You can go up here and bank a left. That's the Sudbury River. Takes you to a big body of water called Fairhaven Bay. That's where I took Moby Dick for the first time. That was my very first kayaking video. Beautiful ride. And the last but not least, you can go up here and bank a right. The most scenic of the 3, I think, is the Assabet River. I've not been up it yet, but it seems to have the narrowest corridors and stuff. I've been dying to go up that, so I'm gonna go upstream that first, and if I have time later in the day, go down, see the battlefield. I'm gonna be on the water all day. Look how shallow this is right here. This is the confluence of the 3 rivers. This is the Sudbury, which I previously kayaked, a great river. That's Egg Rock, just a well-known formation in Concord, and this way is the Assabet River, which snakes. I don't really even know where this goes, but I know there's a lot more debris and detritus and challenging obstacles along the route. Yeah, I think my biggest challenge here is going to be the shallowness. As you can see, there's only like 5 feet between this huge tree and the embankment, but I can barely move. I'm propelling myself with my hand. Yeah, I may be doing a lot of this today. That's okay, it's kind of fun. One thing I have to worry about here is stuff right below the water line. I've scraped over a few rocks and logs. You can't see them until you feel it under the boat. I am worried about tearing this, you know, it has a lifespan to it. But this river is totally beautiful right now. I kind of want to jump in the water and swim. Looks like we go around a bend right here. Look at this narrow passage right here, folks. This is like, there's so many obstacles like this. I might actually hit. Oh, I can just barely push myself over. I'll try to show you what I just went through. There's this huge downed tree right here that extends all the way to the middle of the river. And then on the other side, there's a big bank that might be beaver created. The river is so shallow right here. I'm not sure how well this comes across in the video, but the water level just seems very, very low to me. I am having so much fun kayaking this extremely shallow, putrid, stagnant water. I feel like I'm in an exclusive club with the herons and the turtles here. I see them all the time. I feel like we're bonding right now, you know? They could go their whole lives and never encounter another human, except for a kayaker like me. Makes me wonder if they're the kayakers of their species, you know? And this is where we all communicate. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, folks. I just started recording after enjoying this drift for a while. I've had to fight the current. Right now, I'm beached on a log here. I'm gonna have to get out and drag the kayak, at least for a little bit. Check this out. Looks like the river opens up into a big lagoon here. I thought I saw a guy fly fishing. The houses that own land that abuts this river, they are so fortunate. I'm sure the land is worth more than the house itself, and the house is spectacular. At this one in particular, there's this curious structure here, a U-shaped brick and mortar, well, stone and mortar thing right here. I recognize that structure. There would be a wheel on the end of that structure, and that would power a mill. I'm not sure if there was something here. I don't see anything on the opposite bank, so it wasn't a bridge or anything. It was just on this bank. I had to hoof it for a little bit right here. The hardest part is walking on these stone, on this gravel in bare feet. It's not comfortable. This embankment right here looks like a killing field for birds, seagulls, I guess. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands of little clamshells strewn about. Finally, some action, some rapids up ahead. Looks like I'm going not down, but up a little waterfall. It's only like a 6-inch elevation. I'll probably get out and walk it. It's much deeper and the current is much stronger than I was expecting. I'm just gonna try to walk straight up it. I've got the camera rolling, and if I slip and die, this will be where the video ends. Look at what's coming up ahead. It is just a jungle of downed trees, some of it by erosion, some of it by beaver. I'm not sure I can find the path, but I'm gonna have fun trying. The land up ahead better be scenic as hell for all the trouble I've gone through to get here. The benefit is I don't see any other kayakers this far upstream. It's funny how the river can constrict like that and then open up into a big lagoon like I'm going into right now. Lots of herons. Over here on the left bank, there's a big open grassy area. Not sure if it's a farm or a mass wildlife preserve. Over here on the other side, there's still some big, super McMansion type houses. Those people are so lucky. I'd kill to have property right on a river like this. Well, look at this mess here. This might be the end. This tree spans the entire river. And maybe there's like a little embankment. Yeah, there's a little cove behind the roots. I've committed to this river, so I'm gonna try one more time to snake through that little cove where it's been uprooted. Oh man, this might actually work. This might be just wide enough and just deep enough for me to get through. That's pretty amazing. Look at this. Yeah, I'm actually getting through. I'm determined not to get out of my kayak for this thing. I'm so close to being out the other end, and look at that. I made it through that entire thing without having to get out. That was a lot of fun, but I'm not sure I want to do it again and again and again. The current is just way too strong in this stretch. I'm gonna try doing this for as long as I can tolerate. This is definitely a new way for me to kayak a river. Not altogether uncomfortable though. It only goes up to my knees and it's just like hiking a trail, basically. I think I got past that rapid part. I'm gonna attempt to get back in and keep going. The village of West Concord is about a half mile up. I wanna try to get to that. I do have to worry about the length of daylight and turning around at some point. I had really wanted to get into the village of West Concord before I turn around, but I have 15 minutes until 6:30. That's my must turn around point. I once again forgot to bring my headlamp. I do this every other time I go kayaking. I forget to put it back in the boat box, and now all I have is my phone, which has dwindling battery life as it is. But, you know, this is an adventure in and of itself. Hiking the ass of that river. Maybe that's the title for this video. Through the woods there, you can kind of make out, or maybe you can't, a Residence Inn Marriott. That's the only building I've seen in quite a while. I'm actually enjoying hiking this river a lot more than kayaking. The water is so warm. It's like bath water. Like, I would happily swim in this. I bet the Indians just had a grand old time in this river. I'm gonna try to hike for 10 more minutes and then turn around. Like I said, I have no headlamp. I would liken this more to walking a wet sidewalk after a rain than kayaking a river. But up here on the right is the National Brook that goes to a big pond. It doesn't look navigable at all. I'm gonna try to go down the main river up here for a little bit more. It is so dry right here. I wouldn't even liken it to a wet sidewalk. It's more like a photograph of a wet sidewalk sitting on a dry sidewalk. It's 6:30. That's my time to turn around. This confluence is a pretty special spot. The National Brook right here. It looks very cool. I'd love to come back and hike that. I can see an overpass going into the village up here, and there's a deer just staring at me, and a curious little set of stairs right here. Yeah, I think this is where I get back into kayaking and just kind of, I don't know. I don't feel like doing any work. I'm gonna go with the flow for a little ways, bounce off the embankments. My favorite part of adventures like this. Thank God I am back at the boat launch. I have just been rowing my ass off for like 2 hours. I need to have a good long talk with myself as to why I keep forgetting to bring my headlamp every other kayaking trip. There's something in my pattern of behavior that's leading to this. I don't know what. I'm gonna get all my gear in my van as quickly as possible and head to Boston. Moby Dick is absolutely filthy. So is my shower stall now, and so is my whole body. I need a shower bad. Except Sunday nights are the doldrums for showers. Like Planet Fitness, all the gyms are closed early. So Moby Dick takes up all the space back there. That's why I don't like bringing him along sometimes. I might actually have to take an outdoor shower tonight for the first time. I am gonna try to back into a spot here, and you know, if I take an outdoor shower, I have a little more privacy. There is no way I am not taking a shower tonight. I feel like I'm covered in fleas and ticks on top of everything else. I think I'm just gonna open the door, put all the gear out there while I shower just so I can keep my eye on it. while I'm showering, I'll take this as an opportunity to try to clean this up in here. Moby Dick just makes such a freaking mess. Yeah, having a shower in here is so worth it, especially after a muddy, filthy day like that. I feel like a new man after that. If you're thinking of a shower in the van, go for it. I swear by it. I do a lot of outdoor stuff, you know, and I use it all the time. And it's just great for storing gear. Check this out as well. I am pimped out in Gatorland attire. I got a whole bunch of merch from Gatorland. It's this park in Orlando, Florida, where there's like 10,000 alligators. Listen, I loved it there. I'm really thinking of going to Florida for the winters. Maybe I can work out some sort of arrangement with work where I can take 3 months off during the coldest part of the year, Jan, Feb, March, and go to Florida and just work remotely from there. I don't know. I'm just blabbing at this point. I'm just so mad at myself for not having a headlamp in my boat box today. It's been every other time I've gone kayaking. I think ever since I got it, my headlamp, I don't know why I keep forgetting the word headlamp, hasn't been in my boat box. It's been every other time I've gone without it and run into this problem. I don't understand the pattern in my behavior that's leading to that. I bring the boat box in here after I'm kayaking. I put it on my countertop. I take all the stuff out, like my keys and my wallet and my phone, you know, stuff that I want to put away in here. And I normally take the headlamp out and keep it in this main drawer right here because I realize I'm supposed to have one in there. I don't have one. The boat box becomes that one. And then when I refill the boat box, I forget to put it back in. So somewhere in this chain of headlamps being moved from place to place, one is just magically disappearing. And it's every other time I kayak. I don't know, I'm just overthinking it. I need to like stock up on tons and tons of headlamps and just wear them all the time. I do not like boating in the dark. You know, hiking in the dark is one thing. Boating in the dark is just very, very spooky to me. I don't like it. But that was an adventure. I just went boating all weekend with my beloved origami kayak, Moby Dick. And yeah, I just want to do it again. Thanks for watching. I'm just rambling now. I realize that. That's when I know it's time to call it quits on this video. So until next time, peace out.